The tweet I just sent out spins. It says, now talking my favorite non-Pepperdine team this year, the Illinois Fighting Illini. Oh my goodness. I love this team. I love the way they're constructed. I'm so glad that you put it that way. They have wings that can shoot now, and Matthew Mayer and Terrence Shannon, and we're going to talk about Terrence Shannon in a minute. They have Coleman Hawkins, who is going to be one of my favorite prospects in this draft class. Like, unquestionably is just going to be my guy in this class. Great ball handler, great playmaker, terrific passer. He can bring the ball up the court, a genuine, like, actual, like, high post playmaking big. On top of it, an elite athlete. And he's a great defender. He is terrific across the front court defensively. Flies around. He just, oh my goodness. I love him. I absolutely love Coleman Hawkins. One of my favorite players.
And he's drilling shots now.
And threes.
He's hitting threes. He was 42% from three coming into the game today. He had a huge three-pointer in the middle part of the second half that prevented the momentum from swinging back towards Virginia, which is really, really timely from him. Like, if he is a reliable shooter, he goes from interesting to, I want this guy on my team because he fits almost any type of situation, any type of scheme, any structure that you want. He's 6'10", long, mobile, athletic, great in the open floor because he can run, he can handle, he shoots it, he can be a pick and pop guy, which then allows him to play make from the top in the key if you get him there. I really like Coleman Hawkins. Like, he is the breakout guy for this Illinois team for me. I know a lot of people want to talk about Terrence Shannon, the hot start that he's been on and going, 8 of 9 from 3 or whatever he was on Friday night. But this is Coleman Hawkins' really agenda to run with in terms of NBA draft prospects on this team. Like, the more versatile areas he can play in and show that he can be effective, the more it's just going to be about how high does he really rise in draft rankings.
I agree, but let's be real about it. Like, TJ Shannon is the guy here.
He's balling.
Right? Like, TJ Shannon, based off of what we've seen so far this year, this is a first round pick, right? Like,
he's balling.
If he's going to shoot like this, where he looks like a 40% 3-point shooter in terms of confidence, in terms of the way it looks coming out of his hand, in terms of athleticism, he is explosive as all hell. In terms of passing ability, playmaking ability, his handle has drastically improved. He can dribble with his right hand now. He's playing at multiple speeds. That was a thing that he really struggled with at Texas Tech, playing at multiple speeds, being able to slow it down, being able to, change direction, being able to not foul and get out of control with his body. He's doing all that now. And he's making high-level passing reads out on the move, out in transition, on the break. He throws some wild passes. TJ Shannon should be a first-round pick based off of talent. This is a guy that declared for the 2021 NBA draft, was one of the last guys to return to school, got hurt last year, really seemed to struggle, it seemed like, to get any sort of momentum going under Mark Adams as the new coach there. Any sort of real offensive identity, because that was the team that struggled with offensive identity it felt like. Now he's in Illinois. Brad Underwood plays a much freer style, willing to let him go do what he does best. Everything I've seen so far says that Terrence Shannon is a first-round pick this year. He plays the right position. He's the right kind of athlete. He's a shooter. All of it says that that's how this should end up.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more in terms of the handle, Sam, and I think that got brought to my attention a little bit more today, just with the intensity of the defense that Virginia can put on guys at times. Like, he was really great Friday night in terms of both his shot making and some awesome passes in transition. Like, that's where he pops when he doesn't have to make ball handling decisions in tight spaces. But he's got a ton of upside. We've always known he has this upside, and it's just another example of somebody leaving Texas Tech, whether it's Mark Adams or Chris Beard, and kind of the scheme and the system that they've had, and experiencing an offensive type of renaissance. That's just kind of what happens when you get out of there and like you said, much freer system. The shackles are off to kind of come in there and play his type of game. I'm just really glad we're able to see it because it provides a much neater evaluation for what Terrence Shannon can bring to the table for a team. And it's secondary playmaking that's really smart and reliable three-point shooting without sacrificing anything on the defensive end.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. If he's going to shoot like this, Adam, where he's able to knock down shots off of different footworks, on the move, off of different actions, like that's the thing that stood out to me. It wasn't just, okay, I'm, knocking down spot up threes because guys are leaving me open. It was, I'm knocking down step back, pull up threes. I'm knocking down threes off of movement. I'm knocking down threes, off of a like hammer action, like off of a baseline, kick out, right? Or even off of a baseline out of bounds play. It was just ridiculous. Like, he was absolutely absurd as a shooter in a way where I'm like, okay, I buy this now. Like, I actually genuinely think that the mechanics look good. The results are there now. It's hard for me not to buy the shooting, I think.
So many people have been calling this breakout for a long period of time. And
Matt Penny included, by the way. Shout out Matt Penny.
Shout out Penny. And we've been waiting. We've known he has the tools, the athleticism, the length, the fluidity. We just never got to see it. It's here. We're witnessing it. And now the next question is, how consistently is it going to show up? Is this going to be him every single night? Are there going to be flashes of this? Is he going to go for 28 one night and go 8 of 9 from 3, and then have 5 points on 1 of 7 shooting and a negative assist to turnover the next night? We need to see it consistently. That's the beauty of the course of an entire college basketball season, is all of those things bear out. But Sam, we have talked about maybe the biggest gainer of returners in Terrence Shannon Jr.
Can I just say one more thing on Terrence Shannon? Because I know where you're going now, and I think that it's a worthwhile conversation. But the last thing I will say on Shannon is the passing. I think that that's actually the big differentiator for him. I think previously he actually struggled to process the game a little bit, it would seem like at times. But that's gone. Like, that's completely gone now. He is able to make high-level passing reads on the move, on the fly, with his left hand very quickly. And he had 6 assists in this game. He had 5 first-half assists in this game against Virginia. And he struggled with the pressure, no questions asked. Yep. Like, the ball pressure that Virginia put on him was real. But I don't know, man. Like, I buy them. And I buy this Illinois team in general. And I know that you want to talk about your newest big fan at this point.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got Terrence Shannon Jr., who I think we're all learning to love again and embrace for who he's evolving into. You've got Coleman Hawkins, one of the most intriguing prospects that you can find, because what can he not do on a basketball court that's intriguing? And they've got the most fun player in college basketball, Dane Danger. We are entering the danger zone here, Sam. He's just fun, man. He's 6'9" with like a reported 6'7" wingspan, ridiculous length. He's an absolute monster down low, averaging a double-double in about 20 minutes a game. Super polished scorer down in the post, and a really, really smart passer. Like, what we're seeing from him is exceptional feel to go with his physical tools and qualities to score one-on-one. Against UCLA on Friday night, the scoring was there. Quick post moves, using his physicality, quick spins. Always, always, always has an idea of how to score in the low block. But what we saw today against Virginia, few more of those assists in those kick-out moments, because Virginia does like to come and send pressure and sometimes 2 guys to the post, that he was getting hockey assists. He was making the right reads. He had a really awesome keeper and a fake handoff that ended up getting him a dunk. Shows his feel. Like, he's always thinking one step ahead of the game. And to find a big man who can come off of the bench for you and provide that type of offensive spark is so rare. Not to mention just how much of a motor this guy plays with. He's battling for loose balls and diving on top of guards whenever he sees one rolling on the floor. He's tapping second chance points out to everybody else and fighting for 3rd or 4th opportunities, coming down with offensive boards and traffic. How do you not love watching this guy play basketball? Like, The experience for him is so real because he's efficient, because he scores and does enough passing on the offensive end to make it work. Like, his game is tailor-made for college basketball. It's not for the NBA. There are some defensive worries and just a lack of like perimeter movement and ability there. But for who he is and what he can do to impact the Illini right now, he's one of the most fun players in college basketball.
Completely agree with you in terms of him being incredibly fun. And the other part of it is that makes it really interesting is because Coleman Hawkins is who he is and is able to play on the perimeter, is able to initiate sets, is able to shoot. It allows them to play together. And it gives Illinois real lineup flexibility and versatility to be able to play a lot of different ways. Really, so like there's a good chance based off of what I've seen that Illinois is going to be like my favorite high major team in college basketball this season. The one thing that they just need one thing, and it's a guard to step up and like really truly run the show. It's going to have to be one of Sky Clark, Jaden Epps, or Sincere Harris. Sincere Harris completely turned that game against UCLA, just entirely changed the trajectory of the game with his ball pressure defense. I don't know if he's good enough offensively to run the show. Sky Clark, I don't think has the burst yet that he had before the knee injury that he had in high school. I'll be interested to see what that looks like moving forward as he gets further and further away from the knee injury. I think Epps is the guy I've been most impressed with so far in terms of potential to run the show for Illinois. I will be interested to see what they do at the lead guard position, because if they can get one of those three guys to be a legit starting lead guard, like starting Big Ten quality lead guard by the end of the year, I think this is a Final Four team.
I don't think that's an absurd thing to say. And part of the reason why I tend to agree with that, I think Brad Underwood is one of the most underrated coaches in America. Keeps the game simple for his team, but dials up the right plays at the right times. He has enough layers within their offense that they know what they're doing. And he has consistently found ways to scheme his team to success on the defensive end of the floor. I love Brad Underwood. I think Illinois is going to be a really, really tough out in the NCAA tournament.
Completely agree.